So guys, look people, you can see how she's feeling it so much. Let's see what the surprise that we're gonna have it here. She has a hoof that is hot, the leg, it's like this because it's in pain. Look, I just hit here, she feels it. I have already seen it. I put my hand here on the wrist because it's also difficult because her leg is very swollen, she can't step on the floor and it swelled up from not putting it on the floor. In case if it doesn't move, it ends up filling her leg. So it's sore all over the place. Her hoof it's being bad. So we already have a slight swelling here in the region of the crown where I'm pressing here. I have already expected that, so I go straight with the pinches. I can even squeeze a little more the bead here, and it hurts here because it is swollen, and here it ends up hurting too. Look, it's just started to leak. Look at the liquid. Let's try to open it a little more here to get out more depression here. The little that comes out, guys, the secretion relieves the pain that animal feels. You can see now it's already leaking a lot. Guys, okay, check it out. Oh gosh, it's a lot. It even got in my hand, guys. I'm holding the camera and it reached my hand. It's like a spray, looking far. Look at. I'm gonna open it a little bit more. 5 months have passed since this case. Hi guys, how are you? Alright, Renato is already here in the procedures. As you saw in the beginning, the animal limped a lot due to an abscess, so we came to make a return and see how the animal... So the animal is certainly very well chubby, well cared, as always. And Renato came today to do this hoofing, and we are going to show you how the hoof is. So there was that abscess that squeezed it away. So look, that Renato is going to start doing her hoof, and in case she was in that pain, I'm going to do the hoofing. It's been a while since the abscess burst. That's it, some hoofings have already been performed. And this time, it took me a little longer to go back to do this hoofing. The owner asked me to come and do the correct hoofing, which is a routine in animals. And always be looking even the crack that happened here. This crack always grows a little more because I believe it was the starting point of that abscess that formed in the hoof. So that's why hoofing is the main care that we are going to be doing here to avoid. Remembering that sometimes even hoofed animals that have normal hoofing end up forming this abscess. Sometimes we can't avoid everything that happens to the animal, but in some cases hoofing is possible to avoid. Even to increase this crack, we avoid doing hoofing. So even for cleaning, so as not to get any kind of bacteria. In the meantime, it's a reaction of the organism in the hoof itself and ends up forming these abscesses. This animal, it has already suffered enough. We'll not let this happen anymore. How we're gonna do this hoofing here to prevent. we are already we are already gonna show you. We're gonna show you in a few moments her walking, where she runs in the grass. She goes to horseback riding. She's normal. She's in a normal routine now. As I usually say, it has a tendency to crack this corner. It's always the same corner as last month in the last video. So people can understand that this dry abscess, it went inside the hoof and it reaches a point where it touches the region where the blood circulates, and the hoof creates a reaction of the organism that ended up inflamming. So the organism understands that it's a foreign body. Some animals, they just blow it up naturally alone, as we said many times. It is like a shallow abscess that is simply on the soul, very close to the soul, and some animals take much longer, and they need help to perforing this, and it's the case of this hoof here. It is too deep. I'm going to cut it over it. It gets a little ugly, but so it's to not have the same situation. Just cleaning here and letting the black part here. If we leave it, the fungus bacteria ends up going up. You see, check this out. There is only a small risk there. I'll try to remove it to try to eliminate like 100%. Although I say that this is a bacteria that forms together with an abscess for an anaerobic bacteria, and the more muffled it is, the more it has a tendency to increase. It really came out. I'm going to make an opening in the front to prevent dirt from circulating and to ventilate a little more. This one is an animal that's on the field, and the normal one mainly where they end up pooping and they end up stepping on it. That's normal. Sometimes they have a custom for those who live with animals to observe. They poop, and instead of going front, they just end up going back and putting their hoofs down. And it's often the hoofs that we end up finding dry abscess, the formation of bacteria. And there are often root frogs in the rare region because of this, his own feces. Let's see the difference in her walking. When she had an abscess, because she couldn't stand to step. Oh, that's so good. And now she runs and moves. See, it's just a good thing, her partner here too. And go happy. Guys, stay everybody with God, and until the next video, God willing. Our motto is to listen those who have no voice to be heard.